Every time we think, it emits an energy signature, a temporal frequency. There's 3 types of frequency. And that thought triggers a chemical response and releases a neuropeptide from the brain. And I emote. And if that emotion is one of anger, a specific chemical will be produced by the brain locked into receptor sites of cells. If it's happiness, it'll be a different chemical, and so forth and so forth. And what happens, why is this important? Because what happens at the cellular level is when electrons die off, when the cell dies, it's replaced by a weaker form of version of itself, has more of the receptor sites to absorb the chemicals it was using and less of the ones it wasn't. So if you spend a lot of time in anger, then you're going to have more receptor sites to absorb those chemicals of anger. That's why we habituate anger and become addicted to anger, or we can habituate happiness and become addicted to it. I can go on and on. It's not just about dopamine, there's a lot more going on. And we actually store that at the cellular level. Now, when you have children, you pass that on genetically. And this is what led to epigenetics and the study of epigenetics. So around 40% of our cellular makeup is made up of the chemicals produced by what we emote, how we emote in our emotions. And that also brought rise to the science of nutrigenomics. The same process happens when we eat. When we eat food, and neuropeptides released by the brain. Let's say I eat broccoli. And then what happens is, over time, I'll have more receptor sites to absorb all the amazing nutrients. And let's look at an apple. There's about 10,000 phytonutrients in an apple. And I'll have more receptor sites to absorb that 10,000 phytonutrients in an apple, and that's the ones that I wasn't. So if I don't eat broccoli for 20 years and eat broccoli, I'm going to have less receptor sites to absorb it. Our cellular makeup's about 40% of what we eat. 80% of our cells is what we think, feel, and eat. We are literally what we think, what we feel, and what we eat at the cellular level. So that's how important nutrition is. And nutrition isn't just food, it's also liquid, it's also the air we breathe and the sunlight that we get. Which is why wearing masks is actually really unhealthy, because we're blocking the most important nutrient-dense ingredient in keeping us alive. So what we eat is important, what we drink is important, what we breathe is important, and doing these things consciously and directing our thoughts consciously to evoke the right emotions to keep our cellular health strong is everything.